yourself.
Hey, everybody, it's another episode of Go Flix Yourself. My name is Ben Conowitz, and with me, as always, the Captain Fantastic pinball machine to my Godzilla pinball machine, Bradford Oman.
Hey, that's me. I don't know Captain Fantastic. Is it not good?
The Medieval Madness pinball machine to my Godzilla
that's a
pinball
good
machine,
one.
Nate Loud.
Hey guys, how you doing?
It's not even.
I don't know what it sounds
Yeah,
like.
it's
fine.
I just went with an excited because Brad, you didn't sound excited at all.
I don't really. I can I can make up Captain Fantastic. I go pew pew.
Captain Fantastic is an
I-
often maligned pinball machine from the 70s featuring Elton John. Nobody really likes it.
Okay.
Oh.
Okay. And Brad, you actually play pinball. I don't. I don't know what any of these mean.
Yeah. Saturday. Hold me closer, Captain Fantastic.
These are all from the pinball machine.
Which Elton John song was that?
Oh, that was the key change right there.
Oh, okay. He knows the keys change. I don't know.
I'm a music guy. That's what I know. I don't know pinball, but I'll talk
I
about
don't know
key
pinball,
changes.
but I know key changes. I do. Hey, guys, it's a movie podcast. Well, it's a comedy movie podcast.
It's a pinball podcast.
It's a little bit of key change.
I did a pinball thing this time, not because I don't own an arcade, but because my movie that I was assigned has one pinball scene in it.
Is that how you rate movies now? By how many pinball machine scenes there are?
Yes. Willy's Wonderland, pretty great.
Hey, there's a movie called Captain Fantastic with Viggo Mortensen.
Yeah, no pinball machines, though.
No, but it's a good movie.
It's okay, but again, no pinball machines makes it less than.
So did you jizz when you saw Five Nights at Freddy's then, since there was like 5 pinball machines in it?
Didn't see that movie.
Well, then,
Now I have to, though, because it's on the
spoiler
list.
alert.
Yeah,
Yeah,
wow.
Spoiler alert, though, they break them.
Is that true?
Yeah, they get
It's
smashed.
going to be very sad for me.
Yeah. They're old, though. They're not like smashing cool ones necessarily.
Are they smashing pumpkins?
Also, you can't really tell which ones they are, I don't think. You might be able to because like you're better versed, but I couldn't tell. So they're definitely older, though.
They only showed the side art because they were like focusing on the characters in the movie I watched, and I didn't know what machine it was.
What was it?
It's a one from back in the day called Hot Tip.
Hot Tip. That's also Ben's nickname, I think.
Yep, Ben Hot Tip Conowitz. You need a hot tip, you call the hotline.
Oh, no, I was talking about because his dick was always red and looked like it was on fire.
Oh, but that guy healed. He went to a doctor about that.
Well, I mean,
no, he did. He told me.
It didn't heal. They just put like an extra layer on it, so like it kind of
Like spray skin?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's kind of they basically just like put a Band-Aid on it.
It looks worse.
We're just saying.
Is that
something.
possible?
I didn't think it.
Last time it like how you see like
Hey, let's just stop debating. Show it to us.
have you ever seen
My doctor did say though, he's like, it looks worse.
have you ever seen a mushroom in the wild that's been like half eaten by a raccoon?
Yes.
I can envision what that looks like. I haven't personally seen
mean,
that because I don't know.
Well, you came
Sure,
close
I have.
though because that's what your dick looks
Well,
like.
I don't know if it, like
Look down.
raccoon
Just
specific.
look down.
Yeah.
Raccoon specific though. I don't know if that's
Well, you don't have to do like a teeth examination to know like it's been gnawed on by something.
by something though. But you said raccoon. You were very specific. So
Well,
I wanted
because
to
I just know raccoons love munching on mushrooms.
Do you? Do they?
I don't know.
Yeah.
Well, you just said I know, and then you said I don't know.
But that's the thing about Brad is he doesn't know lots of things, but he says it so confidently.
Oh, he's so
every time.
confident.
That's all I got to do.
He's so confident. He's so confident.
Do you know JFK once got poisoned by mushrooms? It's not true.
Yeah.
No, but I believed it.
Yeah. That is. He told me the other day that his pillow at home was full of goose feathers, not down feathers, goose feathers, and I believed him.
Pretty good.
I don't like when you lie to me.
By the way, this is the first episode that we've put.
So that was like months ago.
This is the first episode that we've put in our Insta listener gauge in here, and as soon as we started talking about Ben's junk, everyone stopped listening.
I just had deja vu. Weird.
Cool.
Are you on mushrooms?
Hey everybody, it's another episode of Go Flix Yourself. With me as always is Brad Oman.
Hey, let me ask you something. Ben.
It looks weird. It looks worse.
Yeah, penis is bad. We got it. Ben, let me ask you something.
Do we have a sponsor?
How do
this
you?
week? Yeah.
How do you like?
Kind of figured this was coming. You know, it's a.
How do you
part of
like?
the show.
How do you like your steak?
Medium rare.
Medium rare.
I do.
Oh, interesting. Nate, how about you? How do you like your steak?
I am the same way. I like medium rare, but
Medium
more on
rare.
the medium to the rare, though. I need it.
Yeah, see, I want pink, but I don't want it to be super pink.
I can't have I
don't want the blood coming out of it.
Exactly, but
Yeah.
I don't want it done too much.
No, not at all.
It's going to really
If
frustrate
you
me.
tell people medium well at the restaurant, it's going to be dry.
Yep, and so I usually just say medium, but
Me too.
erring on the medium rare a little bit.
I say medium, and very rarely is it bad. Usually they do a pretty good job with the medium.
Medium though is better than rare for me.
Listener, I do this a lot. I sit here and no, honestly, I want to talk to the listener real quick. A lot of times, I think to myself, I jump in too often.
We agree.
I jump in way too often. I need to let this play out. But then when I do, you're having meat temperature, like, and it's a real conversation.
To be fair,
Well, yeah.
this is the conversation the three of us would have.
Said that I was talking to the audience. This isn't. You're not doing a bit. You're just literally forgetting you're on a podcast. You're in a fucking 2-person conversation about meat temperatures.
What we would do,
And yeah, I know, and it's not good.
Welcome to the podcast.
It's
and
not-
we weren't done. Thanks for interrupting.
Exactly.
Now-
I saw you take. Brad took the deepest breath, like he was gonna go. And another thing about meat temperatures that I like to.
We didn't even get into the types of potatoes we want with our meats.
I know, not even close. And now, do you put A1 steak
Oh
sauce?
no!
No,
This is me
it
interrupting.
doesn't need
No,
any
I
sauce.
hate A1
No,
steak.
and I don't want any
What's the
sauce.
sponsor?
You know what I
Maybe
do
a
like?
little bit of butter on it. I've had that before. That's
Yeah,
okay.
that's good. You know what I do like to do sometimes
Listener,
too?
get out your phone. Start.
They don't
texting.
do this everywhere,
I'm
but
gonna
if
start
you
texting
get
right now.
if you get a steak at Texas Roadhouse, they'll put jack cheese on it. Love me some jack cheese.
I just don't. If it's a good steak,
Sure.
it doesn't need
No,
anything.
I'm not saying it needs it. I just like it. I like some cheese with my meat.
Have you been to Roost Chris before?
No, unfortunately, I'm poor.
Oh, it's so
I'm
good.
very,
Well,
very
I've only
poor.
went when other people paid.
No, okay. See, that's
So
good.
we should get Ben to take us.
I've had some good steaks on like press trips and stuff like
Yeah,
that.
it is
I would like to
really
go to
good.
Michael Jordan Steakhouse. I've heard that's pretty good.
Maybe Ben can take us
The thing
there.
about Ruth Chris is if you go too often, it's the same. You know. So like if you go weekly for a while, it just loses its luster.
John D. Rockefeller over here.
So, that's just
When he was over in San Diego, he was taking
Oh,
ladies to
Johnny
Ruth Chris
Rockefeller
all the
over
time.
here.
He's like, "Here, let me get a steak and let me get in your pants."
I was like, let me get that medium rare both ways. A1. Steak sauce.
All right. Well, you know what? Nate, it's funny that you brought up having a potato with your steak.
Yeah. Do you want to talk about potatoes? Do you like baked potatoes?
I love baked potatoes, my friend.
Do you put stuff in it or just a little
Fuck
butter?
yeah, I put some in it. Butter, sour cream, cheese, bacon bits. Load that shit up.
Okay.
Now, we're gonna try out a treat today. Ben, go ahead and grab yourself
boy.
a chip out of this bag. Don't look at the front of the bag. Don't look at the front of the bag. Don't ruin the surprise. Don't ruin it. Just get yourself a chip. Nate, don't look at the front of the bag. Don't look at the front. Don't look. No, because I need it back. I haven't tried it yet. I haven't tried it yet. Hold on. All right, give me the.
It's
give me
like
that back.
He was holding it to where
I know.
like,
Give me it. Just give me it.
he's holding.
I'm gonna
the
crunch
chip.
all the chips in my hand.
I can't reach the chips because of the way you're holding the freaking bag.
It tastes like somebody blended a rib a prime rib
Right. Let me tell you
and
about,
made it a chip.
Let me tell you first what I like about these chips.
What you do or don't like?
That I do. They're ridges, which I like a good ridge chip. Because especially if it's
Quit chewing into the microphone. You know,
if
I'm already not really happy with you tonight. So let's just not.
Oh, Ben has to be on somebody else's schedule instead of us being on his.
Well, listeners don't know this, but Brad has another podcast he's got to do after this. He's guesting on some other dumb podcast.
A really
Wow,
stupid.
that's-
A really stupid.
Well,
one.
we're mad at you right now,
Yeah,
so
I
I'm
don't
sure
even-
it's a great podcast.
I'm
sure it's great.
It's probably shitty, honestly. Like, I don't care.
Brad's been like, we got to get this podcast done. I got things to do. I got important people to talk to.
And Ben just came from where all the exciting things are happening at GutterCon in Florida.
fuck right, I did.
Or they had big panels about how aluminum bends and I don't know how fucking trucks run or something.
that was the keynote speaker.
They probably just had a gutter truck as the keynote
It was-
speaker.
it
They
was-
just drove it on stage and put a microphone in front of it.
It was Henry Jenkins's "How Do Trucks Run." That was the keynote.
Those are good chips.
So these are these I got these from London. I did, and it's a brand called the Real McCoys, isn't it? And
But they're good.
Hey, you know what the flavor is?
Steak.
Well, not just any steak, mate.
Steak and potatoes?
Nah, it's flame grilled steak. Boyo.
They probably don't
the-
call steak
the
over there,
chip
but
was
they
really-
probably they call steak like the ham.
The chip was really crispy,
No, they
which
love
I
ham
really
over there.
like.
It's just ham.
It was like fish and chips.
That's fish and potatoes.
Guys, I'm talking
No,
chips.
that's French fries. They have French fries that they call chips.
Yeah, I know. But what do you think French fries are? The potatoes.
And they call chips crisps. So they have different names. So steak over there is ham. If you order ham, they give you a steak.
It's not true. Steak is steak. You like these chips, Nate?
I'm done talking about it.
I think they're pretty good, actually.
I really like them.
Yeah, it kind of has it's a mix basically. If you took a bite of baked potato and a bite of steak.
Yeah,
at the same
I don't
time.
know if the flavor was as steak-like. It
No,
was a good flavor, though.
It's kind of
Prime rib.
Yeah, it's like the seasoning you put on steak.
It was good, though.
Prime rib.
But the
Kind of
chip
prime rib.
itself was good. Like,
Yeah.
I liked the chip.
It's a solid chip, good seasoning.
Yep.
I'm sorry. Everybody.
Thanks for sponsoring. Is this one of our first international sponsors?
No, we had one when I first came back from the.
One of our
You guys
first.
not remember that Mitch brought stuff?
Yeah, Mitch brought stuff from New
yeah.
Zealand.
Wow,
Yeah,
Mitch.
Mitch was just in America. Did you guys see that? Hey, Mitch.
Yeah, but just like you guys forgot about Mitch. Like he's
I don't
like
forget
he's,
about Mitch. I follow him on Instagram.
Yeah, but you forgot they brought
Hey,
sponsors.
it was a test, and you failed.
I was the one that brought it up.
I know that's the thing is you like to force yourself into every situation. You're like, no, I'm going to tell you that this is not right.
But, I mean, that's exactly what I do.
Fucking
And that's exactly how I sound.
chewed ass mushroom dick.
Shoot, that's mushroom dick. Fucking psycho. Brad got in trouble in like 3rd grade because he called his teacher that.
Chewed ass mushroom dick.
Hey, I'm lining up for recess right now. You chewed at mushroom dick.
When I was 7 years old, I talked just like this.
Yep.
Same voice tone,
Yep.
same
Same
vocabulary.
vernacular, everything.
Teachers were
Appalled.
livid.
Appalled.
Did you also get in trouble for drawing dicks like Jonah Hill's character in Superbad?
Not only did I get in trouble for drawing dicks, I got in trouble for showing dicks.
for touching
I got in
dicks.
trouble for waving dicks. I got in trouble for flapping dicks.
Flapping dicks.
Yeah, you name it, I dicked it.
Well, we want to.
One time I went down the slide dick first.
Oh my God, what does that even mean?
It's
don't
hard.
know.
It's hard to do. It's hard to do. And let me tell you, it chafed. It was a hot day.
The hot Bernie slide.
Yep. The hot Bernie slide is my favorite sandwich.
Oh man, have you ever had a hot Bernie slide with horseradish? It's fucking delicious.
Oh shit. What's the last movie you saw, Ben?
Whip it.
Yeah, finally.
Whip it good.
Yeah.
Jackweed.
It's good. It's a solid.
What, for the
Solid
people who
movie.
don't know, tell people what Whip It is.
It's a song by Devo.
Bum, 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 bum.
80s.
Crack that whip.
Bum, 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 bum.
Break your mama's back.
Bum,
That's
bum, 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 bum.
Step in some shit.
No, that's not at all.
Break your mama's back is the lyric.
Crack that whip, break your mama's back.
Yeah.
I mean, okay. Well, I'm going to believe you because
sounds
I
right.
don't know what it is.
Sounds right.
Really?
No,
So I'm
break your mama's back really is the lyric from the
we'll
song.
see.
Bum.
If a problem comes along,
You must break
whip
your
it.
mom's back.
Oh, you see,
Oh,
he doesn't
so-
know.
that's-
What's Whip It?
See, this is why we don't invite you into the songs that we have.
Or any conversation.
You just let me make me flail around like a unicorn with no horn.
A horse.
We would also accept a pony.
A Shetland pony.
Maybe fuck around like a tricycle with 2 wheels.
Hey, what'd you say?
Like a tricycle with 2
No,
wheels.
not a fuck around.
It's a piss around.
Thank you.
Yeah. Okay. So come on.
Oh yeah, see, that's what I'm talking about. Yeah, we gotta go, huh? We got a
Wait,
I got a podcast to be on.
What's it about? What's the movie? Tell the people.
The movie
Yeah.
is about roller derby,
Mm-hmm.
and it's very fun.
All right. Good.
That's it.
No, it's a good
Thanks-
movie. It's
thanks for, letting us know.
It's Elliot Page is in this movie, and Drew Barrymore is in this movie, but she's not the lead. Jimmy Fallon is in this movie. Daniel Stern is in this movie.
Kristen Wiig.
I'm not done. Roseanne Arquette. Kristen Wiig. And then Eve, the rapper.
Mm-hmm.
And that's pretty much all I remember. What's her name? What's the mom's name?
Juliette Lewis.
No, sorry. Roseanne Arquette is not in it. It's Juliette Lewis. I always get them confused.
Wow.
I really do.
Wow.
What is
Marsha Gay Harden.
Marsha Gay Harden. Yep.
Oh.
She's fantastic as the mom.
Marsha Gay Harden's a great actress, and she can play a crazy woman really well too.
Yeah. She was the best part of this movie because
I haven't seen this in a long time.
You need
I
a
don't really remember.
quote unquote villain, and so Juliette Lewis and the mom's character, they play the quote unquote villains in this film.
Did this come out like 2004 to 2008 or so?
2009.
Okay, yeah, I was still buying a ton of DVDs then. I had this DVD, but I don't remember it well.
It's the story of
15 years ago, isn't that crazy? 15
pretty
years, this movie.
conservative mother and a pretty.
Who wants her daughter
I'm
to be in pageants?
Jesus Christ.
He does the same to
I'm
me, but
literally
I'm actually
telling you what this is,
always
and you're
welcoming.
interrupting me to say
I
the
welcome
same
it.
thing I'm just about to say.
I
You're
welcome it.
you're dawdling.
Oh,
We
my
don't
God.
have time. We don't have time.
Yeah, movie about and they win the championship at the end, and the dad.
Well, you don't have to give away the ending.
They win the championship at the end.
No one-
and the dad's finally proud of the
Why-
daughter.
no,
so he puts
but why-
so he puts a yard sign in the yard.
He
so
picks-
he matches up with
He's
his neighbor.
picking the worst things to talk about the movie. Like,
Yeah, because now we're done. Now we can move on because that's all you want to do. So let's
'cause,
move
like,
on.
but you're not even like you jumped right to the ending. You didn't even talk about the plot of the movie.
Yeah, because I started to, and you interrupted me to do the plot. So if you want to get all the way through it, let's get all the way through it. Go. You got a podcast to be on. I get it. You're important. We're not. Gosh.
Harmar Superstar's in it.
Who's that?
He's an American songwriter and actor.
How do you know who that is?
I just looked
it up at the Wikipedia.
Oh, so you're not like familiar with who that is?
Nope.
He never is. He's always on his computer.
I'm like, so is
But it sounds
Kristen Wiig?
Oh boy. So what else now?
Yeah, go ahead. I know you really want to be
Just
the one.
fucking do it.
You want to be the one to tell the story, so you tell me the plot of the movie.
I gave you the movie, idiot. You know how many times you jump in?
This
and talk
movie
about
was
shit?
not financially successful. Why do you think that is?
I don't think that it was like super widely marketed, and it was like a lower key release. Like it was kind of an indie, I think, in a way.
Well, I mean, I don't know if this would be technically an indie because this is, like you said,
It was
made
a Fox
in 2008,
Searchlight.
2009,
Fox Searchlight.
and it was a $15 million budget. That's not a high budget, but that's
Fox,
not like an indie.
But Fox Searchlight often, like even with when those movies have backing, like they have like independent, spirit about them.
Yeah, but $15 million I wouldn't call an indie anymore, right? Or back then.
It's, the size of the budget isn't what necessarily makes it an indie. Like indie, aside from the true definition of an independent movie is one that doesn't initially have distribution or was financed independently. Even though Whip It went through Fox Searchlight, it's still like it has the vibes of like aesthetically or like culturally what you might consider an indie because it started off with a limited release and then got eventually a wide release and that kind of thing. And there was kind of like a grassroots support behind it because it was such a niche thing being about roller derby. And it also came at a time too when like movies that were focused on like centrally female characters, like they weren't necessarily like grabbing a lot of attention yet because this arrived just before Bridesmaids, I think, or was it just after actually?
Bridesmaids 2011.
Yeah, so just before. So we hadn't really gotten into that wave yet of like people like suddenly jumping into like
So
female
Kristen
comedies.
Wiig was probably still on SNL here then.
Yeah,
I think so.
yeah. And Jimmy Fallon too, because it was 2011.
Yeah.
Directed by Drew Barrymore, written by Shauna Cross.
So Drew Barrymore's in this movie. Like I said, she's got a kind of a bit part. She's just one of the roller derby girls, the Hurl Scouts. The names are awesome in roller derby in the real world and in this movie. Elliot Page plays Babe Ruthless, great name. Drew Barrymore plays she's just got a very weird take on the character that she chose to play in this film.
Just wild.
She's dumb.
Yeah.
She's dumb. She's playing it up to be very, very dumb and wild and just like, I don't know. It's a fun take because I hadn't really seen it out of her before. Like she's really playing that part of it up. But Juliette Lewis is great in this as the actual villain, like the lead of a different team that's better than them. And Daniel Stern plays a great role as the dad who always watches football, clearly wishes that his daughter or son was into anything sports related rather than pageants, which is what her mom wants her to do. And so it's a story about rebellion and clearly a good kid that just wants to do her own thing and has one kind of absentee non-conflict related father, and the mother is very controlling and like, I didn't have a mother, you got to do with this to be successful. So at the end of the day, very fun movie.
A coming of age movie too that Ben enjoyed.
Yeah, that's surprising to me.
No, I like the sports. I didn't like the coming of age part.
Wow.
Also, who plays Maybe Reynolds?
Alia Shawkat.
Yeah, she's the best friend.
Yeah,
in this
plays
film.
Elliot Page's friend. Yeah,
She's great. And then Owen Wilson's brother,
Andrew.
not Luke Wilson.
Andrew Wilson.
Does he act still? I mean,
I think he's still around.
he was just great. He plays their coach, and he's like, you could play this a lot of different ways, but the coach could be this kind of like, I'm a dude with a bunch of ladies, and it's not. He like takes it seriously. Like he's a schlubby kind of like, not schlubby. He's just like he looks like a hobo in a lot of his scenes because he looks like a derelict.
Honestly,
but then when he comes out, he's like, if you guys would just learn the plays, we'd be great. But he's never mad at them because it's just weird because the way he plays the role is he's a beleaguered coach that really wishes they would pay attention, but never gets actually mad that they don't.
Yeah.
And they're happy, like they chant "We're number 2" when they lose because they're happy with it. And he just is like, if you learn the plays, I'm just saying, we would be better.
He hasn't done a ton since 2017. I don't know if he kind of just retired. His wife's a pretty famous photographer, so I don't know if they were just able to live off of.
And honestly, mostly he kind of just appeared in like Luke and Owen's movies as well, and had bit parts.
Yep.
When I didn't know who it was. I didn't see the opening credits of his name, so I just thought, wow, they that's an Owen Wilson type.
Yep.
Yeah, it is.
No, they do sound
Nailed it.
alike.
Yep, there you go.
Drew Barrymore also directed this, in case
Yes.
you didn't realize.
Yes, she
Yeah.
did.
I did say that, but yeah, that's fine.
She's a filmmaker.
We don't really listen to Nate, evidently.
Well, because he's sparting off facts about Harnar Superstar, whoever the fuck that
Harmar
was.
Superstar, yeah.
Yeah, Harmar.
I was
Big
close.
deal. Big
Harmar
deal.
I was
Superstar.
off by one letter.
No, Harmar Superstar, big deal.
Yeah, pretty big deal.
Name one of their favorite
No,
songs.
it's not. It's like it's
It's a
him.
guy.
It's a him.
I said there.
Well, that's not right.
But
It is.
his preferred pronouns are he, him.
Yeah.
You don't know that.
It's on Wikipedia.
Don't assign pronouns to someone when you don't know.
It's on Wikipedia.
It is.
But he didn't say that.
It says he on Wikipedia. I think it would say they if it was.
Not necessarily. Wikipedia doesn't always know for sure.
It
and
knows
also,
almost.
also-
It's
always.
very fact-based, Brad.
Also, you can use they them for any, whether they're he or she. Like it's both.
Oh, that's really progressively wrong, Brad. You can't do that to people.
Okay, hey, Tillman has so Harmar Superstar has a cameo in one of Ben's favorite movies, 2004 movie Starsky and Hutch, as Dancing Rick, a disco dance champion. You guys remember that role?
I do.
Oh yeah, I know who that is now.
Yep.
Then yeah.
Yeah. That actually does pinpoint exactly who that guy is.
Yeah.
You're making fun of us, but we know now.
No,
I know.
yeah.
I knew you guys would know that.
exactly who that is now.
The joke was that it's one of your favorite movies, but I knew you guys would know that role.
I think he
No,
actually.
it's in my top 10.
I think he actually is the one of
He's
the other.
Hutch.
He's one of the other.
he's
He's one of the other announcers in the movie, isn't he? Besides Jimmy Fallon.
Don't know.
Oh, in Harmar Superstar in this?
Yeah.
I thought he played the love interest because he's a lot younger in 2009.
The douchebag band guy.
He's not a douchebag.
Which one? Which love interest?
Her Elliot Page's character. Babe Ruth is his love interest.
Yeah, the guy who's in the band.
Yeah, he's not a dick.
Yeah, he is. In the end, he's a dick because he cheated on her.
No, he didn't. They got like it explains the movie explains it right. Like he was like there. Yeah, this chick jumped into our van with your and grabbed your shirt. We kicked her out, and then they kissed and it was all good.
Really?
Yeah, that's exactly what happens at the end of the movie.
I thought it turned out that he was an asshole.
She thought he was, and then that was a big part of the movie. But then when he comes back, he's like, I probably still smell like the van. I just got back off and I came right here and
Oh, okay. I forgot about that part. Then yeah, I thought that he turned out to be an asshole.
there you go.
But no, that's not Harnar Superstar.
Oh, then I don't know who it is.
I think you were saying Harnar.
Yeah, it's Harmar. With an M.
That's not Norman Superstar.
That's Harmar.
Norman. Did you watch any other movies?
No.
No. Why?
I went to GutterCon.
They didn't show any movies
Like
there.
there was no movie
No.
watching on Gutter Con.
They didn't have any premiere of like movies that had like great gutters in them.
I had
Did you watch
4 hours of sleep
GutterCon
every
Aaron?
night. 4 hours. It was awesome. I loved it. I was up till 2 and got up at 6. Or
Did you
up till
genuinely
3
have
and
a
up
good
to-
time?
Up at 7. What's that?
Did you have a good time?
I really did.
You gotta tell them to make a movie.
A Gutter Con
Life
movie?
in the gutter.
No, don't do that.
The founder of GutterCon.
No.
No, that'd be like a. It
Brendan
needs to be
Swag.
like a Christopher Guest mockumentary.
Yeah.
Why my industry isn't serious enough for you?
I just feel like you can make it very serious and it'd be very funny.
Call
Like,
it Downspouts, and have it be just like about
hey guys, you guys want to write this movie with
a
me?
couple schmucks who run a gutter business, and they just fuck it up.
I take my job seriously.
You can.
No, it's fine. You do.
Laporte Themis
We
Gutter.
don't have to.
Laporte Themis Gutter can be the company that inspires Downspouts to do it right.
Have I ever made fun of you for being a pastor? Okay, don't answer.
I mean, sometimes.
Wow.
yeah, that's I'm like 25 minutes into the Marvels right now, and I'm gonna finish it tonight.
Okay.
That's when I actually. So for the first time, normally I would watch that when it comes out. I would pay for it, but I knew it was gonna hit Disney, and so it wasn't worth the $20. So I just literally waited for it, and I wonder if that's hurting Disney.
No, that's definitely a lot of what has happened.
I will say
in recent
again,
years.
I don't dislike the Marvels. I watced it for a second time, and I don't dislike
No,
it.
it's fun.
Yeah,
It's a fun movie.
especially compared to what just came out. What was the movie? That
The
just-
Eternals,
No, the movie.
Madam Web.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I am loving, by the way.
infinitely better than that
I'm
film. Right?
loving. Just people are triple and like quadrupling down on. It's like almost worse than the Morbius hate at this point. Like I've seen things as like, like yesterday I was just on Twitter and I just saw. Listen, guys, I know that everybody's shitting on Madam Web, and they should. Here's a thread, and they're like doing threads of why it's bad now. It's like, oof.
It's awful.
And then there was another one that did a thread of Dakota Johnson in press for this movie. There's like 7 or 8 clips where she like contradicts herself and is just so out of it as far as like not online. I've loved the Marvel movies for some time, and then like the next interview, I've never seen the Marvel movie, like just stuff like that.
I bet you she's fucking around.
Well, that's the thing. I don't, if so, she's not really doing herself any favors for the movie. Obviously, it's like, oh.
I think that she already knew that it was going to be just down the drain. So
I mean, do you think that she's so in on the joke for herself? She's like, yeah, they paid me $20 million. Like, I don't care about them, and I'm just going to shit all over it.
Maybe.
Honestly, though, pretty crappy of her, right?
Yeah, I mean, you were hired to do a job, right?
And then also people. So this is the thing that I think of when I think of films like this. There were some people that did some pretty crappy job, but there are a lot of people that probably worked hard on this film, right? That did their job well.
If you're
there's hundreds of people that are maybe, I don't know, thousands
purpose.
of people that work on a film, but by the time it's done, like just respect enough them.
But it's not as if she's disrespecting what they did on the movie by like
not doing a good job.
No, by not being invested on the press tour. Like, especially if you don't think it's a good movie, like why lie to people or why pretend?
Don't lie. You don't have to lie, but
no, I mean, she is lying because you can say like it's not a good movie, don't go see it, but like or I'm contractually obligated to be here right now.
But everyone knows that she is.
No,
yeah,
you can't
she
say
wouldn't do it if she wasn't.
No, like I'm saying, you go out and say I've always been a fan of the Marvel films, and then 4 seconds later you see a clip where it says I've never seen one.
But is that the same interview?
No, it's like
right. That's what I mean.
Like a week ago, it was
most people who see that first interview or see that second interview aren't going to see the other one.
Oh, so it's okay to lie when nobody knows?
No, I didn't. I mean, technically that's what a lie is, and if it's good, then yeah.
Oh my god!
I don't know. I honestly, this whole thing is maybe lose some respect. I didn't have a ton of opinion on her anyway, but it's just like the film's crap. It is, and you were in the film, and I don't think you helped the film be any better either, from what I hear.
Not at all.
I'm not sure anybody did, to be honest.
Yeah.
Except for like anyone who was on the crew.
Though I do think some of this type of crap, though, it just starts pouring on, Brad, on X today.
Twitter.
It's X, but okay.
But you pointed out because somebody's like, look at this. It's like a microphone or something.
Oh yeah, someone took a picture of.
But it's like so everyone's just trying to find the new thing.
Well, you can't talk at the same fucking time, boys.
But they're trying.
Someone took it at.
Oh my god. What did someone do so we know what the fuck we're talking about, and then Nate can explain it? Brad, please tell the people what the fuck you're going to do it again, and I know you are, because you're looking at each other like we're going to overtalk each other, and you're fucking assholes.
So
someone
you guys
posted,
can't talk at the same time.
You fucking. Someone posted a still from Madam Web, a shot from the movie, and they were saying boom mic right in the shot, and it kind of looks like there's a boom mic in the corner.
But
to be
fair, I thought it was.
It's a dick.
A fucking huge.
It's a
dick.
huge cock. It's an elephant penis.
It's just someone wearing like a medical hat, and like the bill looks like a
It was
mic.
part of the scene.
Yeah.
So they're trying to find things.
And that's the thing is like this movie is so bad you don't need to come up with more things to like make,
And that's what always just kind of pisses me off. It's like just
to make fun of the
be
thing
legitimately bad. This happens in politics too. People are like, "Did you hear Donald Trump said this?" And he didn't. And it's like, well, just, the things he says is bad enough. Right, yeah. We don't have to make up new things.
And
right?
making things up actually hurts your cause.
Exactly. It makes people sympathetic to the thing.
You're an unreliable source at that point. So then when you say something real, it's maybe somebody's not going to believe you.
Exactly. So, but bad film.
And honestly, I know we just shut all over Dakota Johnson or whatever, but Marvel knew what they were getting into when they hired her too.
Well, not Marvel.
Sony.
Pictures.
They knew. I mean, everybody saw the viral clip of her on Ellen DeGeneres' talk show.
Well, actually, Dakota Johnson is in the right on that one.
No, exactly. But that's what you hired. Like you're not gonna. I wouldn't expect that person to play nice.
Yeah,
ever. So why the fuck would you? There's plenty of other actresses out there that would have been.
But maybe
this role.
I mean, maybe they didn't honestly, because at the end of the day, this movie was made
for her,
so that they can hold on to the rights to Spider-Man characters. That's why they make this. That's why they make Morbius. It's because as long as they keep making movies that have Spider-Man characters in it, and they can't do a new Spider-Man every single year, they get to hold on to the rights to Spider-Man. So, I mean...
But do they have to make one every year?
I believe so.
And they are allowed to use the words Peter Parker and Spider-Man.
Yeah, they are.
But they don't.
So,
that's so weird.
I think that they... Did you see the movie?
No, I just
looked up everything about it?
No, I didn't need to. Like, people... that's one of the things they're shitting on.
Yeah.
This guy wrote this really fun little blurb, and it was like... It's so weird to me that they're allowed to say these things that will help their film in the film, and they don't. They choose not to. Actively choose not to.
It's weird because it's like they wanted to have these little like Easter egg references, but they didn't want to fully lean into it. And part of me thinks that the reason they didn't is because they didn't want to paint themselves into a corner where if they were going to continue this thread somehow, that it had to be Peter Parker, where if they did it, then they could like throw a curveball and be like, oh wait, it's not
Miles Morales,
or it's somebody or it's somebody completely different.
Yeah,
you know?
I guess, but man, it's kind of like if you, I don't know, if you've got
on one hand,
an incredible movie, the punch up stuff would have
sure,
been like, you know,
this would be the one time when like you want that fan service.
Exactly.
But I did also kind of appreciate that they didn't do the most obvious, winks by throwing down his name. Like they still have some like cheesy like things, they like where you know what we're talking about.
Yeah, Madam Webb's line, what is it? My name's Madam Webb and I love pee-pee.
Yeah. Oh man, she loves pee-pee.
So, little hidden reference. That's Peter Parker.
Yeah, not urine.
Yeah. Oh God, that's funny. Yeah, that's really funny.
Yeah, you got it.
What'd you watch this week?
She did say she loves getting pissed on though.
Oh my God. No.
End credit scene.
I'm Madam Webb. I love getting pissed on.
Pissed on. Good Lord.
It's a real bad movie.
Madam Web 2 Golden Showers is coming
Oh man.
to a restroom near you.
Nate, what's the last movie you saw, buddy?
I thought he asked you.
I did, but he did.
Did you?
I did. I was trying to move on.
Brad,
from
what's the last movie you saw?
I was trying to move on from the piss commentary.
What'd you see, Brad?
The last movie I saw was Thriller 40, which is a documentary that is available on Showtime or / Paramount Plus, since they're both the same thing now, I guess. And this just came out the end of last year, and it is a documentary about the making of Michael Jackson's Thriller album, which is like his crazy huge hit of an album that has Billie Jean and Beat It. And
You've been on a real documentary about
The
music.
Girl's Mine with Paul McCartney.
The Girl's Mine. You Want to Be Starting Something, Pretty Young Thing. And so I
Remember the Time.
I am on kind of like a music documentary kick
No,
right now.
that's not on. Do You Remember the Time? Is not. That's like a 1994 album.
Thank
dude.
you, Nate. Thank you very much.
No, I was just mentioning more Michael Jackson.
Nate, do you remember the time when Ben messed up the song? Not being on the right album?
fell in love to you.
How about Black and White?
Nope.
Same album,
Yeah,
actually.
same. Yeah.
Thriller? Yeah.
Oh, jeez. I after watching The Greatest Night in Pop, I feel like I'm on a music documentary kick, and I knew this came out recently. And seeing Michael Jackson in Greatest Night in Pop, I wanted to watch this because I love Thriller as an album. That music video was a game changer all around, and it was really cool to like listen to people talk about the making of the album. They have like the sound engineer and like people who were working in the studio and stuff like that, and they talk to like people who were around Michael Jackson at the time, and they have great archival interviews and footage and everything. And it was just really cool to like get a sense of like what he was trying to accomplish with that album, and after he was breaking out of Jackson 5 and everything. And it's just like, for all the controversy there is around Michael Jackson and everything that happened with him and everything like that.
What happened?
There's like, it's like you can't help but be in awe of just how well in tune he was like with music and the way he created. Like in this documentary, they have the demos that he made where he's basically doing like a cappella versions of the songs that are on the album, where he's like doing the instrumentals with his mouth and stuff like that, so that you get a vibe for like what the sound is. So he did all these multi-track recordings, and you get to hear those raw demos, and you get to hear
how close they were to the actual what the finished product was.
It's wild. And it's so
he
funny
did it by himself.
Yeah, and it's so funny too, because sometimes you'll hear some of the songs and it's not the full lyrics. He's just doing like, but
you know
like there's gonna be lyrics there, and he knows what it's gonna sound like, but he doesn't have the lyrics all figured out yet.
There are a lot of songwriters that do that.
Yeah.
They just figure out what they want it to sound like, and they piece in the lyrics later.
Yeah.
Isn't that really cool?
It is. It is really cool. And one of my favorite parts actually is one of the guys who worked in the studio while they were creating the songs and creating the music. Is he's in this room surrounded by like a bunch of synthesizers and equipment and stuff like that. And they don't mention what it is, but he just starts. He's like, so when we were in the studio, like with Michael, we started off and we had this drum beat, and it's just this like single, and he starts off with that, and he starts adding one more thing, and he's doing it like live. So like he's like on all the things, recording each sound, adding it, repeating it, all that kind of thing.
Wait, is this Michael or the guy?
The guy, not
Okay.
Michael. And so he's going through, and they're talking about how they figured out like what the ad is like, and then and then of course
Is it Quincy Jones or?
No, it's not Quincy
Okay.
Jones. Quincy Jones is dead.
It's in real time.
This is
Sorry.
not archival footage.
No, this is
Sorry, were you thinking
Sorry.
archival as well?
No, sorry.
Yeah, I was.
No,
I was like, so why wasn't Michael there?
no, it's a talking head interview, and he's talking
Okay,
about like
okay.
what it was like when they were
The
doing
Talking Heads were
And so
in this documentary?
fucking hell, shut up. So he's going through all the layers of the song, and he's like, and then finally we add, and like you recognize it, but it's not complete. And then finally he gets to the part where it goes da-na, da-na. It's like holy shit, and like just the way it comes together, it's fucking incredible. It's such a cool thing, and like it really just gets you jazzed watching it. It makes you wish like you could write a fucking song.
The full song for Thriller is freaking long at the beginning. Have you ever listened to like
the music video is like, isn't it like 13 minutes long? Like legitimately,
and that is the actual song. I think I don't think that actually like that is the. Like,
Vincent Price comes over and does all that. Yeah,
freaking the original is. I mean, they cut it down right.
Well, because they had a big dance break that has full like music in it, and there's a longer cut of the song. But the movie itself like has movie parts where there's not like music or anything. But
clearly they cut the music off. But like, what's really amazing about Michael Jackson, again, all scandal withstanding, he was an incredible songwriter. Almost all of these songs were actually written just by him. He didn't have like, now there's usually teams of people that are writing songs, even with a good songwriter.
Yeah.
Taylor Swift's a good, if not great, songwriter.
They
she
even
usually
say
has other people writing songs with her still.
The song that he did with Paul McCartney, they said like a lot of people think Paul McCartney wrote that song, but Michael Jackson wrote that
He's
song.
the only one, too.
Yeah.
He didn't have a team. It was just him.
It is also for you, maybe if we do have one younger listener under the age of like, let's say 30, it is
Mitch.
It is, yeah, Mitch. So, hey, Mitch. It's
Mitch. Let us talk to you.
Let me talk. Hey, Mitch, right over here. It is indescribable to somebody that didn't at least have a tangential relationship with his music when he was alive, when he was pre-scandal, let's say, where the literal, like, bigger than the Beatles, bigger than Elvis, the larger than life persona that he had. He was by far the most individually famous person in the entire world for years at a time. And people would cry and faint and scream, and they couldn't control themselves. And it was like Beatlemania, but like times 10.
Yeah.
I just don't know what that does to anybody, right? Like, how could you possibly be?
That on top of the fact that
his
like
father was just a tyrant.
Yeah, and he's been famous since he was a fucking kid. Yeah. Like, I mean, the Jackson 5, he's just a child.
It's crazy to me though that right now Taylor Swift might be, or Beyonce might be, like the closest thing to that level of stardom, and it doesn't even come close.
Yeah,
people are not screaming and tearing their eyes out when, I mean, they're crying.
Oh, you remember when you saw the video when that dude tore his eyes out in front of Michael Jackson?
I mean, people are literally picking at their skin, waiting for him to come out.
I would
zombies.
I would say Taylor Swift in my life is the
Thriller video.
Taylor Swift is the closest thing I think we've gotten since then, because she's huge worldwide.
And it's also incredibly more, it's harder to be that famous now because so many other people can be famous at the same time because of the internet.
Yeah.
Back then,
quote unquote famous.
Well, yeah, but it was,
Mr. Beast.
You're sharing that. Honestly, Mr. Beast is wildly famous,
I
right?
know.
So Michael Jackson had less competition, obviously, but my goodness, was he just the biggest
crazy. So yeah, if you
in the world,
you should watch Thriller 40 if you like Michael Jackson's music, if you're interested in music at all and you like those kind of documentaries.
You watch anything else?
It's on Paramount Plus and Showtime. I did. I watched The Exorcist Believer.
Why?
Because I like The Exorcist and I like David Gordon Green as a filmmaker.
I thought you saw this, didn't you see this in the theater with your mom?
No, we were supposed to, but I didn't get a chance to. And it's okay. It's I don't think it's bad. It's just
better than the 22% RT score.
Yeah, I mean, and like only because like that makes it sound like it's terrible. And I think
that's a number that would scare me away from.
And I think what it is just that more critics than usual. I think were just underwhelmed by it because it's nowhere near as good as The Exorcist. Of course,
how could it be?
Of course,
right?
yeah. It's still better than the Exorcist sequels, of which there are many. You probably haven't even seen half of them. But the problem is that for a movie that is supposed to like be a direct sequel to The Exorcist and kind of like ignores what happened after that, it doesn't necessarily do anything new or exciting enough to like warrant being an Exorcist movie. It's very much your like formulaic movie of girls who get possessed and then they try and get the demon out of them. There's nothing really surprising that happens.
Paint by numbers.
Oh, I take that back. There's one surprising thing that happens, but it's the kind of thing where like I wish it didn't because it feels like, oh, well, that's kind of lame that they did that.
Your father sucks cocks in hell.
No, that would have been great.
That
especially if it was Danny McBride doing it.
Just so it was like, your mother sucks cocks in hell.
No, I got it.
Your father.
No, I heard
it's a sequel.
I got your. I'm picking up what you're putting.
Okay, well, just
Yeah, mushroom dick. So it's just fine. I don't think it's terrible. I don't think it's great. It's not particularly memorable or anything. It's it's just okay. It's just an okay movie. It's just a fine, okay movie.
You watching that?
I did. I watched Nimona, which is an animated movie that's nominated for Best Animated Film from Netflix.
What is it called?
Nimona.
I saw this.
Yeah. And
it's the sequel to Moana.
No, it's actually really. I actually really like this.
It is really good. And so it's like a
I think you actually might like this film.
You probably would.
Well, my joke wasn't that bad, but you guys are shit all over it. So.
It has the vibe of a medieval fantasy movie, but it's also set in a futuristic world. It's a kind of a cool mix of those.
Animation
those two
is beautiful,
worlds.
though.
Here's the thing.
Or you don't like it?
I didn't like the.
Because it borrows kind of elements of anime a little bit sometimes too.
I don't mind that. There's something about this particular style that bugs me a little bit because it feels like it's unfinished, and I know that's not the case because it's an aesthetic choice, and there are some movies that have this style to it. But there's something about it that feels almost like a little like video gamey to me. And I like when there's a lot of detail in animation, and this feels like there's intentionally not detail, and that sometimes it just kind of bugs me. But there are some gorgeous shots in this movie, despite the fact that I don't dig the animation style very much.
And like you said, it wasn't laziness. It was a
choice. It's a choice,
but
and it just doesn't always work for me.
Sure.
The characters are great though. Chloe Grace Moretz plays the title character Nimona, who is this shape-shifting girl who they kind of perceive as a monster. And she has a very dark sense of humor and a twisted side. She's really funny. But there's a great correlation and an allegory here of being othered, and especially when it comes to the LGBTQ plus community and that kind of thing. But it's done very well where it's not shoved in your face and thrown on your throat. It's a very subtle way of creating this tie to something that, and honestly not even just LGBTQ plus, but that anybody can feel as an outcast, and it's just very well done. I was very impressed by the story, and it's touching, it's fun.
The directors of this, Nick Bruno and Troy Quayne, I think is how you pronounce it. It's their second film, I think, but they did another one that I like, Spies in Disguise. Did you see that one?
I haven't seen Spies in Disguise yet.
Another well-reviewed,
is it Spies
fun movie.
in Disguise or Spies in the Skies?
Spies in Disguise.
Disguise, but that's the joke.
Oh, okay.
Is it really?
Yeah, they turn it. They turn into birds.
Now I don't know.
No, he's right. I never made that connection though. I never made that as a
Spies in Disguise,
as the bird thing. That's
you
funny.
knew they turned into birds, but you just never.
Did they make that joke in the movie?
No.
Oh, okay, I had never put that together. That's pretty clever, actually. Good job, Nate.
All right.
And that's it. Those are the movies that I saw.
So that's what you watched.
That's what's going on in the country. Here's what's happening in your neck of the woods.
Can I tell you a quick story?
Yep.
So I was at the Gutter Convention.
Oh, Jesus.
GutterCon.
GutterCon 2024.
Now, if our listeners want to attend GutterCon, how do they get tickets to next year? I'm sure tickets sell out really quick.
Gutter-con.com is where you're going to want to go, and that's really the website.
So Ben's standing in line, and someone turns around and tips his hat like this. And who do you think that guy was? Emilio Estevez, the Mighty Duck Man. I swear to God. I turned around and I was like, Emilio!
We did it. So I'm at GutterCon. First seminar of the first day is this guy named Howard, I believe. And he's an older gentleman, and it's meant to be a motivational speaker. And so it's not really about gutter. It's just about and my friend, he felt like a preacher for sure. And I know he's conservative Christian and a little bit right wing.
Nate, your friend?
Yeah. But I know that also he's got a little.
Oh, Howard.
Yeah,
Howard the gutter pastor.
Seriously, and he's a nice enough guy. But clearly has built a career kind of doing this conservative Christian stuff. And it's a gutter convention, so all these guys are pretty blue collar, and I don't know that anybody's really there for religion. We're just there to learn about our industry. So it is a little awkward for me. So I was kind of on my phone a lot because he was just doing a lot of stuff that just doesn't really align with what I believe in. And so
it's kind of like when I talk to you sometimes.
I zone out. So he talked about, I have to leave the convention early because, and I've been doing this for a long time. I'm very happy and excited that I get to leave early to go be with the president. and he was not talking about Joe Biden. He got to go and hang out with Trump after that, and I was like, "Oh, this is
So
this
how
is great."
you were pretty jealous?
Oh yeah, of course. So I heard
If Donald Trump asked you to put new gutters on Mar-a-Lago, would you do it?
You better.
Yes.
You better.
Yeah.
Oh,
Make as much money as you can.
Without a doubt, it would be paying up front, but I would. do it.
And you overcharge.
I don't care about that. I honestly would just want to go and send the guys and do it. That's a story forever. It doesn't matter, politics aside. Just the idea that like you should see weird shit and like this is crazy. Like that's a good enough event.
All right, so you heard it here first, folks. Ben would put gutters on 21st century Hitler's house.
Let me say this.
That's not why.
I have friends that are vehemently anti-Trump, and they confess to saying what sucks now is they can't stay at a Trump hotel because they actually like the Trump hotels. They're very nice hotels.
The people that work there and like that make their living there, it's not their friend. That's not their fault that Hitler's involved. No, I'm just kidding.
So they don't stay there anymore. But like the Trump hotel in Chicago is a very nice hotel.
Yeah.
Like,
So all that to say, I was like, okay. So I was zoning out a little bit especially after he said that. I was like, all right, whatever. So it comes to the end, and I look up, and he's standing on the stage kind of awkwardly. And they went from his speech on the teleprompter on the big board, and it cut back to the GutterCon logo, and he was still standing there so awkwardly. And I like seriously, like 10 seconds go by, and it's a big room, and it's me, and it's just like in school when you're like, well, you gotta break the tension, otherwise I'm gonna be, I can't not. So the host of this event this year was a magician. He was like, he does sleight of hand stuff, and he was awesome. No, that part was great. So he does like a little bit of funny stuff, and he'll do like one magic trick up on the show and like get your attention and
make
bring
a downspout disappear,
kind of, and then bring up the next speaker. He utterly impossible to figure out his sleight of hand stuff. He's really good. So he was the guy that like brought this guy up.
Hey,
so,
was it a David Copperfield?
Oh, nice! I'll give you that one. I'll give you that one. Yeah. Anyway, so I see the GutterCon logo. I see that Howard is standing there, like kind of like mouth open, just like kind of like what's going on. I say, "Where's the magician?" And the guy does respond. He's like, "I'm right here." And I'm thinking, why aren't you going on stage? Like, this is insane. What are we doing here? Well, it turns out, if I had been paying attention, Howard had said like, and this is like the last thing that he does evidently in his thing, is he asks you to just give him a longer than normal pause to think about what he just said.
Oh my God, you idiot!
And I interrupted it, thinking it was
you piece of shit.
you're an awful person.
Now, granted, I don't care because that guy's going to see Donald Trump, so fuck that guy.
But here's the funny part.
But don't miss a chance to lay it on Ben.
You just gave yourself a cringe moment.
I know, I did.
Like if you were watching this, you would turn it off.
Yeah, the only saving grace for me at all is that truly the guy that was running the AV stuff, he did fuck up. He was supposed to just leave his thing alone, but like 5 seconds into the 10-second pause, he changed it. So then I saw that change and him standing there, and I'm like, what the fuck is going on?
Oh my God.
And so I was like, where's the magician? And I got, probably 10 to 15 people in my immediate area that actually heard it were like, oh, they laughed. It was good. But then I had to go over to my table and with my employees that were there, and I was like, hey, I just think I fucked up. I did this. And like, yeah, no, he meant to pause. And I was like, oh, no. So I apologized to like the founder of the convention.
Oh my
I tried
God.
to find him to apologize because that's not who I am. I don't really do stuff like that.
So
ever.
you did go to Mar-a-Lago.
I went. Trump's a nice guy.
Oh, Jesus.
So yeah, that was the cringeworthy moment that I created for myself at GutterCon 2024.
Good Lord.
I'm a moron.
Wow.
Yeah.
Is that the only one though?
Probably not. Probably many more. Nate, what'd you see, buddy?
I watched the film. I went to theater to see this film right before. I think probably it's going to come to the DVD pretty soon, or released to a digital service.
You tell us what it is, and then we'll tell you.
It's a film starring Sydney Sweeney and Glenn Powell.
Mm-hmm.
Called Anyone But You.
Yes.
Oh.
Funnily enough, it'll actually be available on PVOD, Premium Video On Demand, starting Tuesday, February 20th.
It's weird that they didn't do it for Valentine's Day.
Yeah, that is kind of...
It's because they had a special encore Valentine's Day showing in theaters. They kept it in theaters for Valentine's Day. So, yeah.
I kind of like going to theaters by myself. Well, I like going to theaters by myself. But I also like going when I'm the only one there. And I knew that this had been in the theater for a long enough time, so I was the only one there.
So you wanted to be the only one in the theater for a movie with Sydney Sweeney in a bikini.
You know what I'm talking about.
Yep. Did you get the Dune popcorn bucket?
Actually, I'm not going to lie. Glenn Powell.
I'll fuck the shit out of that bucket.
Glenn Powell is a handsome man.
Oh, he
all right?
is.
He is
Oh,
equally
he is,
handsome.
yeah.
He is guy candy.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
I think I probably not since Ewan McGregor have I been just totally all about kissing a man.
Ryan Gosling is right up there.
That's fair. That's fair.
You know, oh man. And when I saw him take his shirt off in Crazy Stupid Love, I was like, I'm not gay, but am I a little? I don't know.
Maybe.
Do you know that this is a take on Much Ado About Nothing by William Shakespeare?
I didn't.
Who's that?
Bill Shakespeare over here. So this is a take on that. It is a very paint by the numbers rom-com that I really, really loved. And so
I heard it's fun.
It is, well, Sydney Sweeney has very limited range. She doesn't have all the charisma in the world. I don't know if you know this.
Mm-hmm.
She's not super charismatic.
Wait, are you talking about co-star of Madam Web, Sydney Sweeney, and doesn't have
Is she
charisma?
pretty terrible in that? Or
She's not terrible, but she's not doing the movie any favors.
yeah. And so, but it ends up working with the two of them. Glenn Powell obviously carries the kind of charisma in that regard. But there's also some really fun supporting cast moments as well. Dermot Mulroney's really good in here, who's super old now. Did you guys know that? Dermot Mulroney's
he's
He's not a spring
He's
chicken.
a silver fox.
yeah, you know, it wasn't that long ago that he was the Glenn Powell of
Exactly.
the film.
I don't know if I'd ever go that far, but
I mean, he was a
in the
leading man-
90s,
a
I
leading
felt like
man.
he was a heartthrob.
He was a handsome fella. I don't think
Right,
I'd
he
ever
was a
put him-
leading man. In the
I would never
90s.
put him on Glenn Powell level. Okay, I never wanted to kiss Dermot Mulroney in the mouth.
There it is. You heard it. How
Never?
Never.
about Dylan McDermott?
Sometimes.
So this is exactly what
Hey, one more. How about Dermot McDillett?
Oh, all about it.
Yep.
Yep.
So this is exactly what you would expect. It's exactly what the trailer made it seem, right? It is everything that
But it was fun. It was fun.
but it was fun to see a rom-com that was funny.
It's an
That's a really
R-rated
good movie.
rom-com, isn't it, too?
For a reason, buddy.
Ooh,
Yeah.
that was a very. There was a topless scene. Or,
There,
I got to get
there is a shower scene in
a
this
little bit of a
film.
PB.
What?
There could be a little bit of a PB, and that's why it's a R-rated.
Yeah, I don't.
Oh, I thought you were
just
saying, like,
kinda,
he
I don't
had to
know
have,
what
like, a
he's.
PP,
I don't
yeah.
know what he's.
like it because it's Glenn Powell's PBs.
What is this voice you're doing?
It's, I don't know if you know this, but
Like you sound like a carnival barker, like at a haunted house.
When Nate goes to the movies alone, I'm there, and I sit and watch him from behind with my Dune 2 popcorn bucket,
Ugh.
and I look for Glenn Powell.
You know what you sound like? You sound like Mickey Rooney.
Bang, zoom to the moon.
He never said to the moon.
Yeah, that's what he said. I was the biggest star in the world.
There you go. That's what it is. Ugh.
I like this voice.
I don't. It's bad. It's
It is
real
kinda
bad.
creepy. You know what I also love? What I really loved about this film too.
Well, hey,
It's-
one
it's-
more, just one more.
It's
real
only
quick.
like an
Real
hour and a
quick.
half.
No, just real quick.
which is a perfect in and out time
just,
for
just
a
real quick.
rom-com.
Just real quick. Sydney Sweeney, can I have your autograph?
Ugh.
Right? She'd give me an autograph.
We just got a restraining order against us for that.
Yeah,
It's not even. No one has ever heard this other than us. That's how creepy it was.
I'll have one Dune 2 popcorn bucket, 2 lids.
Ugh. Yuck. Nasty.
I'm gonna
that
wear-
means he's gonna just destroy one of those lids.
You know how when you go to the films and you get the popcorn and it's all gone in the previews.
Mm-hmm.
The first lid destroyed by the end
Oh
of the first
my
previews.
god.
I'm gonna need that second lid to get me all the way through.
Jesus.
But the thing is we know that's not true.
I feel so gross right now. I feel.
It really does.
I feel like just like I'm covered like the bottom of a movie theater floor.
You're welcome.
Putting a restricted on this podcast episode.
Yeah,
Very
seriously.
welcome.
Ugh.
Sydney Sweeney, call me.
Ugh.
Oh,
Yuck.
I'm so sorry, Sydney Sweeney. I'm so
Yeah.
sorry.
Me
Thanks
too
for
what I
listening.
did.
So you liked Anyone But You?
It was fun. You should see it when it comes out on the VOD.
I might still try to go to theaters to see it. I like supporting
I'll
the
be
big
there.
screen.
So I was going to tell you this. I think
It's fucking gross.
you and I talked about this, that it's not common for a rom-com to make as much money as it did. It did fairly well. It was like a $25 million budget, and I think it did close to $200 million.
And it had long legs too. Like it kind of steadily grew over a few weeks.
So it makes me happy for film, right? That
Yeah.
this is a very profitable film, and it's a good film.
It goes to show you too. Like there's so much emphasis placed on opening box office. It has been for years. You know, it's always what they report on. But like, if you give a movie time to like grow and like it has, there's enough room to find an audience because there's counter programming, there's not a lot of other stuff happening. It'll work, you know what I mean? Like, people thought Pixar's Elemental was like, well, Pixar just doesn't have it anymore. But that movie had such long legs at the box office, and it still ended up being a big hit for them.
I do like to talk about TV on this podcast. I know you guys don't really like to talk about it, but they talk about that with like The Office, giving it time, a couple of seasons to find its legs. And in these days, The Office would have been canceled after the first year.
Yeah.
And that would have been a travesty. If I don't know what it's about, but I think that it would have been bad.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, even into its second season, it still took them a while to get their footing. It wasn't until like towards the end of the second season that they really started like having a hold and like found an audience.
Yeah, it's one of those things that I also don't necessarily begrudge a studio that like puts out a movie and it doesn't do very well, and so you're like, shit, we really got to make some money because that's what they're there to do.
Yeah,
sure.
I kind of begrudge studios of everything right now.
Well, of course, but that's one thing that is hard. Obviously, to make that decision, like this is one that will have legs. Oh wow,
Yeah.
How do you know that?
Well, and here's the other problem too. And Matt Damon talked about this a while back when he appeared on Hot Ones with Sean Evans. Is the
great episode, by the way. I love Matt Damon. He's got a good mind on him.
No, he does.
He's brilliant.
He is, and he talks about how back during with the old model of movie releasing. A movie would come out in theaters. If it wasn't a box office hit, it wasn't necessarily a big deal because often what would happen is the movie would then get released on DVD, and there was a whole new swath of income. And he even says it was basically like giving the movie a second release, and you knew that you were going to get a bunch more money from people who were either renting it, buying it, that kind of thing. And even though there is still a market for renting it, it's not nearly the same as it used to be because now what you're doing is you're getting movies that like sure they get a limited like a VOD release where the price is a little bit higher. It's like a $20 thing to get it shortly after it's in theaters, watch it at home. But oftentimes, a lot of people now are waiting for it to hit streaming, where you don't have to pay a price for it. You've already paid your subscription, and it's the studio or the streaming service that has paid a licensing fee to be able to stream it. And so now, people who are supposed to get, that would normally get more back-end dollars or the movie that would make more money, that money's not coming in anymore. And that's why studios aren't taking the same risks on movies like they used to. They're looking for what they hope are guaranteed hits and not taking risks on movies that might otherwise take time to find an audience and get a second life on home video or something like that.
Yeah, I worked at Blockbuster in college, and I remember, like, to a real-world application of what you're talking about, there were regulars that would show up on Tuesday when because it was always a Tuesday when these movies came out. I think.
Still a Tuesday.
Yeah, on VOD. But on Tuesday, 10 a.m. when we'd open, there would be people outside waiting to get in, and they'd go over to the new release, and they would just get the 5 new releases, no matter what they were.
Yeah.
And it was a lot of people did that. By the end of the first day on Tuesday, a lot of times, the new releases would be gone.
Yeah.
You could not, and we had hundreds of copies, and they'd all be gone. And so I get it. That used to happen.
Yeah.
I'm old.
That's not a thing anymore.
Yeah.
Did you watch anything else, Nate?
That's the only thing that I really watched.
That's it?
I got caught watching C-SPAN the other day.
Okay, that's good.
This
is trailers.
Like, hold on.
Trailer time. Brad's got another podcast, so we've got to keep it going. This is trailers. Trailer time. Nate and Ben and Brad are going to have a real good time. Let's go.
Not bad. I'm impressed.
We actually kind of knew where you were going with that.
The second verse almost fell apart, but you picked it back up.
Yeah,
I run Time with Time again, and I don't know if anybody caught it, but
I was worried about.
I didn't want to bring
the backing of it, but like I want to say this. And
I remembered your names.
I want you to hey,
Nate and Ben. Okay,
I'm going to say this, and I want you to receive it.
Okay, I'm listening.
I am proud of you.
Thanks, buddy.
Yeah, it was a good job.
Yeah, it's the pressure of not talking about C-SPAN.
I do want to know, like,
oh my god,
when you say you got caught, like, were you ashamed or like was it a mistake?
It was in the same theater.
Yeah, did you have your Dune popcorn bucket?
Dune popcorn bucket. Mom, there's a lock on my door. For
no, they're voting yes. Nate's mom's dead. Ben.
I do like the political process, and I like to watch political.
I know
happening.
you like to watch,
and so I just enjoy watching C-SPAN sometime.
That's it. That's the saddest thing.
Yeah,
I've
that's
ever
really
said.
like
I am a single man that didn't have my kids this weekend, and I was watching C-SPAN.
That is the saddest thing.
You know, you have a choice, right? Like unlimited choices.
You could have told me, Nate, and I'm being serious. You could have said
you were gone this weekend.
No, but you could have said I watched a documentary about World War II, and I would have been like, "That's a little sad." The C-SPAN thing
Yeah.
is honestly sad.
Honestly, if you would have told me instead that like you took 15 minutes and just stared at the wall in your living room, that's less sad than you choosing to watch C-SPAN by yourself.
Nate, if you would have, if you would have driven down to the local Sherman-Williams, which does exist, and bought a small pint of paint, come home, painted one strip, and watched it dry, it would have been less sad.
Nate, if you would have gone down to the local Sherman-Williams, which does exist, and shot yourself in the face, that would have been less sad than choosing to watch C-SPAN by yourself.
Received.
Did you? Be honest.
Yeah.
Did you pause it when you went to the bathroom so you didn't miss anything?
No, I don't pause when I go to the bathroom.
Okay, I was gonna, if he said yes, I was going to be pissed.
I know.
I was going to be livid.
I was so mad right there because he's like, of course it's important.
Oh, got to watch voting history.
All my friends were gone. You were in GutterCon. I did hang out with Brad on Friday night, but I didn't think he wanted to see me a second night, and so
I would have loved to see you second night, especially if I can stop you from watching C-SPAN.
And Brad and I watched Jeopardy, so it's not that much better.
Jeopardy's not sad. It's a fun time.
Yeah.
Well, was that much better than C-SPAN? I mean,
100%.
Yes, of course. It's engaging and you get to learn things.
Yeah.
Laws are being made, guys.
Yeah, game show history is being made on Jeopardy every day.
What else am I supposed to do?
I'll take sad weekend for 1,000, Alex. Like, what is watching C-SPAN?
This young man watched C-SPAN by himself over the weekend.
Who is Nate Laux?
I'm not young. I'm 42.
No, you're too young to be watching C-SPAN is what we're saying.
Yeah, we're trying to give you the benefit of the doubt here.
Come on, man.
Jesus.
You know what? Next time, buddy, if you're in a bad way like that, I want you to call me.
I didn't think that was bad. I thought I was doing well. It was like C-SPAN, the political.
I think this might be the first time we actually get Facebook comments.
Yes.
That people are like, this is so sad.
I'm so worried about
I didn't
you.
know. Is Nate okay?
Yeah. You're going to get some calls.
I mean, I didn't have
That's actual self-harm.
It was a crazy...
Watching C-SPAN is self-harm.
Crazy fun night at home. I made myself a...
Crazy fun night at home.
I made myself a peanut butter and jelly sandwich, and I watched C-SPAN.
This is getting worse.
Oh, my God. He had a sandwich. Like he had made efforts to watch it.
I cut it in half.
Diagonally
or
cut the crust off?
Diagonally. No, I didn't cut the crust off. I like the crust. The crust provides a nice boundary.
Fiber.
And so...
All right, we watched some trailers.
We watched the trailer for a new Netflix movie called Damsel. This one stars Millie Bobby Brown, who is 11 on Stranger Things. And now
she's 18.
I actually think she's like...
24.
No.
She's like engaged, I think, isn't she?
Probably.
To Pedro Pascal.
I think
she's 20.
Yeah, she's 20, yeah.
I watched the whole movie.
You know, you say this like...
She's engaged to Jake Bon Jovi.
That's not John Bon Jovi's son, though. It's just a coincidence.
It is the son of John Bon Jovi.
I know.
Oh, my God.
Jesus Christ,
I just want you to know.
C-SPAN made him lose his sense of humor, too.
She's engaged to Bill Slash. You know, that's not Slash's son, though.
That's the guy who owns Slash Film.
By the way, that is nice. It's not Slash's name.
I don't know.
But no, so yeah, she stars in this movie. It is a fantasy epic where she plays a woman who is being married into a royal family. Apparently, it's something that like she needs to do to help save her people. But what she doesn't know, and what she maybe should be leery of, is that this royal family isn't looking to marry her because their son is in love with her or anything like that. They're going to sacrifice her to help save their kingdom.
What she may want to be leery of?
Well, you never know. Could be could be a nice sacrifice.
You know, she doesn't have to be.
She doesn't have to be.
She could be.
But so she gets chucked down into this cavern where there is a massive fire-breathing dragon awaiting. And she has to try to survive.
It's a bit of a Ready or Not vibe.
Yeah, for sure. A little bit of a Ready or Not vibe, but fantasy style.
Yeah, exactly.
It looks cool. I'm in for this.
The CGI looks incredible. Like the filmmaking itself.
Yeah.
I wish it was more of a teaser. That's all I'm saying.
I personally don't think that they show too much. I think that you forget that movie trailers used to show infinitely more of what was in the movie, and it used to be much easier to parse out what was going to happen in a movie. And I don't think you always necessarily can figure out what is happening. I'm
going to write down what I think is happening in this film, and then when we see it, I'm just going to be like, yep, I was right because of the trailer.
But then you're going to be like, oh, maybe whatever happens in the movie also makes it so that just knowing that doesn't matter because it's how it's told. It's not about the destination, it's the journey to get there, Ben.
I'm excited to see this. I don't know what you guys are talking about.
I said I was excited.
No, Ben's
the one who's like, I've already seen the whole movie and how she rides the dragon.
Brad and I are on the fence about it because...
I'm not on the fence about it.
Like you said, Brad, I agree. I'm trying to agree with you. We don't think that you should show the whole trailer or show the whole movie.
Did you guys like 28 Weeks Later?
I don't remember it as
it.
much as 28 days later, but I think it was fine, probably.
I don't remember it.
Okay.
Why do you ask?
Same guy made it.
Okay.
Just want you to know, that's the same guy.
What's their name?
Juan Carlos Fresnadilla.
Oh, yeah, he's done some other horror movies as well, I think.
I think so, yeah.
Well, that gives it a little
He's done, I think, quite a bit in like Mexican filmmaking as well.
Mm-hmm.
So.
I think that gives it a little bit more credence because if you're good at horror, because this could take, the horror element of this is something that I thought was a little light because it just looks more like a fantasy.
What about this?
Well, I actually thought it was nice to see that they didn't try and like bring any levity to the trailer. Like usually these days, a lot of fantasy movies have something that like kind of undercuts it, but it's a pretty serious, straightforward movie.
Yeah.
What about Fast X? Where do you rank that in your Fast and Fury?
It's towards the top.
Yep.
Because the writer is the same writer.
Good.
Chris Morgan?
What's that?
Is it Chris Morgan or
Dan Mazzot.
Oh, okay.
So, I mean, so that's some pretty legit people, right? That are creating this film.
I think it looks cool.
I'm
cool.
excited.
I'm gonna when does it come out, Nate?
We'll see.
March 8th. That's another thing that I loved about this is
the release date.
Yes, they released the trailer not long before the actual movie comes out, which is great.
Well, that's a Netflix staple, actually. So
I know.
Netflix, depending on how big the movie is, they'll do a teaser a couple months out, and then they'll do the final trailer about 1 month or a couple weeks before the.
Which I love any trailer releasing because it gives us fodder on this podcast. But I do like when trailers are released when you don't have to wait too long to see them.
I'll be honest. There's so much out there that. Oh, did I watch that trailer? If it's been 3 months. And then I'm like, oh yeah, what's that about again? And I don't ever see it again until I see the actual theater in the theater or on VOD, and I don't remember shit about the trailer. And maybe that's a good thing because again, I don't like spoilers. I used to, before this podcast years ago, I absolutely never watched trailers. I don't want to know. I just want to go in blind and have a good time. And now I gotta watch for this stupid podcast.
Not always. You can do it sometimes. So that's Damsel. Comes out March 8th. We're excited about it. The next trailer, actually, we should have covered this when we did Madame Dark Web Super Bowl party, but we forgot about it, basically.
Not we. You gave us the trailers to watch, and you didn't.
No, I did. And honestly, it's because the full trailer for this, which is A Quiet Place Day 1, actually came out several days before the Super Bowl. They did air a shortened version during the Super Bowl, but the trailer had already been out. And so it was the only trailer that hadn't been that was fully released before the Super Bowl. The rest of them got released the day of the Super Bowl. So that's kind of why I forgot about it.
Sure.
But this is the trailer for a prequel to A Quiet Place, the movies that John Krasinski wrote and directed, about a family trying to survive in a post-apocalyptic world where sound-sensitive aliens have basically wreaked havoc on the entire planet. And they're just trying to get by. And this takes its place all the way back to the very first day of the invasion when the aliens arrive on Earth. Totally different vibe because it takes place in New York City, a place that is extremely loud, not just because of the people there, but because of the sounds. And the sounds are what is most important here.
Not just because I'm going to quote you. Not because of the people, because of the sounds.
Lupita Nyong'o stars in this movie. And so does a cat, and I'm gonna be very worried for that cat throughout the movie.
That cat's gonna die.
That cat, if that cat dies, I will riot.
I mean, the cat doesn't know to be quiet.
But the cat, is lovable.
Well, exactly, but
it's just a cat. Though.
Shut the fuck up, Nate.
And then you
gotta muffle the cat.
Kill my. Oh yeah, I'll muffle a cat all day long.
Ew, that sounds gross.
I'll do it too.
Oh,
this is just not a good episode.
Chewed up mushroom dick over here is gonna fuck a cat.
No, I'm gonna kill a cat.
Oh,
9 ways to skin one.
Oh my god!
And you wear 9 skins.
This character is awful.
Cruella DeVille 2 Electric Boogaloo over here with cat suit. I got a cat suit.
The teeny boppers are going to love this film because Joseph Quinn's in it.
The teeny boppers are going to love A Quiet Place Day 1.
Joseph Quinn, he's like the Stranger Things guy, right?
Yes, Joseph Quinn is the Stranger Things guy. He's the guy who played Eddie.
Oh yeah, all the teens.
On Stranger Things,
all the teens
season
loved
4.
him.
He actually just got cast as Johnny Storm, aka Human Torch, in the new Fantastic Four movie.
He's on the up and up, huh?
He is. He's
turning into a guy. He's a good guy up on the up and up.
No, for the guy though that's
it's teeny bopper on the
30 years old, that is kind of just hitting his mark now. That's kind of fun. I like when people do.
It is. For those of you that didn't know, the Fantastic Four cast was officially announced. This is for Marvel Studios' attempt at doing Fantastic Four, which will hopefully outshine the other 2 poor attempts.
3rd time's the charm.
They've got Pedro Pascal as Reed Richards. They've got Vanessa Shaw as Sue Storm. They have Joseph Quinn as Johnny Storm, and Eben Moss-Bacharach from The Bear
Yeah.
as Ben Grimm, a.k.a. The Thing.
Cousin from the Bear.
I love him so much.
I love him.
So that should be interesting. It looks like it's going to take place in the 60s. I'm pretty excited about it just because I hope that Marvel can get back on track and it'll do something completely different than what we've been expecting.
Go ahead, Nate.
Let me say, Marvel getting back on track. Marvel has done some good things compared
Of
to.
course. But
Their batting average is still way higher, but
nowhere,
still.
but nowhere near where it used to be.
Agreed.
Listen, if Babe Ruth's in a slump, he's in a slump. Okay, he's still a pretty great
He's
hitter.
still Babe
but let's
Ruth.
go.
If
But
Babe
he's
Ruth
also-
didn't get his shot at Jack before he hit plate,
So
gonna
what
hit
do
his
you know
wife.
about Michael
Go on.
Sarnowski, the guy that's doing this? Because John Krasinski wrote the story for this, but he's not making it, right? Do you know anything about Michael
We're now back talking about A Quiet Place, not Fantastic Four.
Yeah.
yeah, that's correct. Sorry about that. Nate likes to give us a little bit of whiplash.
Well,
That was also directed by. No,
did you guys see
funny
Pig
thing that I did
with
there.
Nick Cage?
I did.
Did
It's,
not.
It's very good.
So same guy that made Pig is making this. He doesn't have a huge history either.
Is Pig a revenge film at all, or is it just I'm gonna get my pig back film?
I have not seen Pig either, but I've heard it was fantastic.
It's not a revenge film in the way that John Wick is.
Okay.
Yeah, there's
Or is it because I guess my maybe the better question is it just really just a sad movie?
Go on.
Exactly.
in a way, yes, but not like The Weatherman.
Thanks, Nick, for that fucking walk down that rainbow road. God, you're such a dick.
And you know who's producing this film?
John Krasinski.
Michael Bay.
Well, that's just because his Platinum Dunes production banner is the one that, I mean, he's not like an active producer.
You
I
don't
know, but-
you don't know that. He
I
could be
do know
very
that.
involved.
That's how the system works.
Yeah, Krasinski's a part of
he
it.
could be
but
on set.
He's not.
He could be.
He's
You
not.
never know.
He's not.
Just saying.
You know, Michael Bay could have directed Small Soldiers.
I wonder what that would have been like. Bad.
It is interesting though that the original team, obviously Krasinski's still involved in this as
Wait,
a
why did you
producer.
know that, by the way?
It just a clip just recently came out where he was talking about it.
Doesn't he do that right? Hey, but by the way, did you know that Michael Bay could have directed Small Soldiers?
I just
and then
feel
and then he goes, moving on. Like you don't
Well, I
expound
also
on
feel
that.
like Brad has like thousands of little bits
Yeah.
of information that he's gleaned over the years in the film, like
Do you know that Priscilla Presley was almost a Spice Girl?
That's
And
not
moving
true.
on.
That's
That
not
is
true.
true.
No, but that's the kind of shit you would come up with.
That'd be fun.
She does have goose feathers in her bed though. But no, it's there's a clip, an interview where he was talking about that because Spielberg initially wanted him to direct it, but apparently when Bay pitched his take on it, the producers they weren't quite.
They're like, yeah, it's a children's movie. You have women in bikinis and machine guns. Like we can't have this.
To be fair, Small Soldiers still does have technically women in
bikinis?
bikinis with machine guns. They're dolls, but they're still
Yeah, that's fair. I'm sorry. And you know what? I watched it. I had a pretty big soldier.
What is going
What is
on
this?
with
Yeah,
you?
Jesus.
Yeah, I did.
Oh my God, he's jerking off to dolls.
A reason to get back into the voice. You all missed the voice.
I
They
like
were-
Small Soldiers though.
They were going to remake it.
Small Soldiers?
Yep.
And one
Who's
big
they?
one. They put them all together. One big one.
Shut up, Ben.
One big soldier.
20th Century Fox. The script was purchased in January 2014, and director Justin Lin was set to produce the film.
I mean, I'd watch that.
But
Justin Lin.
due to the acquisition of 21st Century Fox by Disney on
there
March
you go.
20th, 2019, Disney later in August canceled the film along with over 200 other projects.
Wow.
I feel like it probably was already dead at that point anyway. But
Yeah, I mean,
The
6
number
years
of movies that we are just
or
never
5
going to
years.
see the light of day, because of studio acquisitions and the new head honcho comes in and I'm not doing that.
oh, it's not even necessarily just because of acquisitions though. There's tons of scripts that get bought and announced that you'll hear about all the time that never actually.
Oh, no, I know that. But the specific reason of it, though,
Yeah.
it's definitely no, I don't want to release that anymore because I'm in charge of it and I don't like that wasn't my idea. The ego on these people to just shelve things that people worked really hard on that would be good movies.
Yeah,
It does happen,
Can we talk a little bit because I want to hear you rant a little bit about
Coyote versus Acme.
Yes,
what a piece
that's
of shit
exactly
David
where-
Zaslav was.
That's exactly where I was going.
Fuck
because we
David
didn't get to talk about that.
Zaslav. So for those of you that maybe haven't heard about this because you're not ingrained in film world like we are,
Because nerds.
there's this movie called Coyote versus Acme. It is an animated live action hybrid that stars Wile E. Coyote, features a lot of Looney Tunes characters. It's Space Jam esque, but it basically it follows the lawsuit that Wile E. Coyote files against the Acme Corporation, which is
Love this premise, by
the
the way.
company that is behind all of the failed gadgets and tricks that he's used to try and catch Roadrunner over the years. Will Forte is in it. He plays Wile E. Coyote's lawyer. It is apparently very, very good. It is because it's a Looney
Okay,
Tunes.
so it's getting. I didn't hear that. So it
had some screenings. The reactions to the screenings have been very good. People online who have seen it, some people who know people involved with it have seen it, and said
and
it's
we are
very
three
good.
jokers that love Will Forte.
True, and I love Looney Tunes. And so David Zaslav, who is the current Devil, yeah, he's running Warner Brothers right now. He's been making some pretty piss poor decisions in recent years. Previously shelved Batgirl, which was a movie that was in the works that was supposed to come out, and they just axed it, and it will never be released. And they decided to take a tax write-off instead, and that is exactly what he decided to do.
And that wasn't because it was getting bad reviews either, right? Like screenings.
Well,
or anything,
it wasn't
right?
finished yet, so yeah. So that's what he decided to do with Coyote versus Acme, a movie that it was very close to being completely finished. He decided to shelve it and take a tax write-off instead. There was some backlash over this, and Warner Brothers pretended basically that they were going to put it up for sale for somebody else to distribute. But as a story came out after
that will never happen.
A deal never came together, because even though they made it seem like they were looking to sell it to somebody, they weren't seriously entertaining any offers that anybody made, because they would much rather take the money they would get from a tax write-off rather than risk selling it to somebody, having that movie turn into a success, and being further embarrassed by that turnaround. So in short, David Zaslav, piece of shit, a movie that people put hundreds, thousands of man hours into to make work, something that is apparently good, uses Warner Brothers legacy characters who have defined the studio,
who have often made a ton of money too,
for
right?
generations. And unless somebody is a hero and leaks this movie, we won't get to see it, because he's being a businessman who just wants to make money in the easiest way possible.
He's also
hold on. I'm going to defend David.
Shut the fuck up.
Zaslav here a little bit.
David Zaslav.
Zanzibar.
No,
David Zanzibar.
Davey, as I call him, Davey Zans. You know,
also,
he's got a lot of hard decisions to make, Brad. You don't know his life.
Here's another thing. He hasn't even seen the movie.
He's also
Davey Z. He's like me. Okay, he's got a gut feeling about things, and he's usually pretty right.
A gutter feeling.
He also is to blame for. He pulls a lot of things off the streaming services because he doesn't want to pay residuals.
Yeah, but I can only get mad at him so far about that, because that's what all the streaming services are doing now.
But I think he was one of the first ones to do it.
Probably.
He wants to pinch a penny every time, and I understand you want to make a lot of money.
Yeah, David Zaslav is the big lots of movie studios. Basically.
He's the big lots of people.
He doesn't seem to live within the boundaries of understanding that we could maybe potentially make more money, but it's good for the brand and it's good for our fans to do this.
You are definitely doing yourself a disservice to anybody that wants to respect you as a.
He doesn't care about that as long as he's making money.
Yeah.
It's
a very short-sighted thing.
He does not care about the art by any means. No, he's strictly
it is a product. It is a commodity, right?
It is content.
Yep,
that is it. So, fuck David Zaslav. I'm keeping my fingers crossed that somebody was able to get Coyote versus Acme out of the hard drive or whatever.
Hey, and if you've got a copy and you just don't know how to get it online, we're pretty smart. So just come to our website and just shoot us a message.
And David, if you'd like to come on the podcast,
defend yourself. Me and you can talk. We'll talk business.
Yeah, give me a call, Davey.
Davey Z.
David
Zed.
Piece of shit. That's the episode, guys. Thanks.
We did it.
Hey, next week I'll bring a game. We'll play a game next week.
We haven't played a game in a while.
It's been a lot of talk.
And we should probably have a guest sometime again.
Yeah,
we've all been busy, and so
Mitch, are you around?
Yeah.
Can Mitch come back?
He just left America.
Ah, shit.
I know. He just left America. I saw it on his Instagram.
Sorry we missed you, buddy.
Where did he go?
Home.
Back down under.
Back to Australia.
Just
kidding.
Just
kidding.
Where he went to the Shire.
The ways. The Shire.
The Shire.
He went to the Shire.
With Frodo.
With Frodo Baggins. Guys, thanks for listening. If you like this podcast, make sure you subscribe on Apple Podcasts or Spotify or Swift Beats or Nasty Thumps. Whatever you get your podcast on, if you like getting it on Script Smash or Doodle Sounds, those are our favorite podcast apps, and we know you want to hear us in your ear, especially when Ben turns into a pervert.
And by the way, if anybody wants to get their hands on a used Dune 2 popcorn bucket lid.
That hasn't been
It
washed.
has not been washed. It is still wet.
I'll have you know,
it's dripping.
I've seen this bucket, and it looks like someone spilled glue all over it.
It does, and it's hardened and it turned red.
Oh, what?
Yeah, because I did it with a mushroom
You need
penis.
to go to a chewed up mushroom penis
Chewed up
too.
mushroom. Oh, don't say things like that. You're gonna get me going.
Ugh.
Hey guys, it's been fun. Nate, Brad, love you guys. Bye everybody. Bye.
Nah, cheating, eh?